What's going down, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna have a real simple barber tutorial. I say that because as I was editing this video, I realized I already done a video on this client's haircut. Back then he had braids and a ball fade, and I totally forgot. But instead of me just wasting the video, I just figured I'd edit it, post it, because I need more content on my channel. I'm trying to be more consistent. So back then it was like a braided ball fade. This time it's kind of like the same. It's just a man bun with the fade, but half the man bun is blonde, the other half is black. So it's really, it looks crazy, but it's super simple. So I'm not really going to talk you guys through it that much. I will step in sometimes if I need to say something to you guys, but other than that, let's get into it. All right, so now that you got his hair in a bun and it looks kind of normal, it looks like something you can work with. I start out all my fades fast feed, or in this case, a Auster 76er 000 guard. It's the same exact thing. Just take the no guard, close the lever, make your first guideline. And after you got the bottom portion of his fade completely balded out with the TL liners or whatever liner that you use and the electric shaver so it's super smooth, our second guideline going upwards, or it's not even a guideline, we're just creating a foundation. So when we do fade up, we know what guard and what length of hair that we're fading into. So I'm just knocking down the side of his hair. I'm leaving like a ½ an inch space between this and his man bun, so that way I can go in with the long number 3 and kind of create like some disconnect between the man bun and this long number 2. And as far as the fade going upwards, my technique as of late has not changed, so this is no different from any other ball fade video. My first guideline, if you guys remember, was a 76ers or a Auster fast feed lever closed. Second guideline that we're using now is Auster fast feed lever open. All right, y'all, this next step is going to take a little bit of finesse because I'm fading from a number 0 guard or a 1/16 guard open to basically a 3 guard. So I think you should be able to slap on a number 1 guard open and fade it out without creating another guideline. Now, if you don't have enough finesse and you don't have enough skill to like avoid creating another guideline, that's fine. Just slap on a 2, work your way up, and then go from there. But I think you should be able to flick out the rest of his hair without creating another guideline.
Vision made.
All right, y'all, let me walk you guys through what I see before I line somebody up because I never take out the time to tell you guys what I'm doing when I line somebody up. And I always see comments like, you pushed him back, what is he supposed to do when his widow's peak grow back? Okay, let's talk about the widow's peak thing. Obviously, this dude has a widow's peak, right? Bam, right there. And he also has like a side widow's peak. So he has 2 basically mountains of hair that come forward instead of being like evenly distributed across his forehead. What I mean by that is, if I line him up at the bottom of his widow's peak, which would be right here. Now, let's just say we lined him up right here. There's no hair that grows from the bottom of his widow's peak to the side lineup. I just can't make hair grow right there. I can fill it in with Sharpie, but EJones don't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? I have to create a natural lineup, but also take off some of the widow's peak. So if you want to call it a pushback, cool. It's a necessary pushback. I'm shaving off the widow's peak. That's what my client wants. That's what I do. So as you guys will see in the next clip, I start the lineup right here because the hair travels fully across to the side. You guys understand me now when it comes to widow's peak and unnecessary hair and all this other stuff? Like, yeah, it's easy to say, Jones, you pushed them back, but it's like, bro, do you understand how barbering works? You have to push back a lineup necessarily to make it sharp. Not all lineups you have to nick barely and it's going to look sharp. Obviously, there's clients out there that have widow's peak and you have to take off a little bit extra hair. How it grows back is not my problem. He asked for it. I'm taking off just the necessary hair to make it look dope. All right, y'all, before I line up the right side, it looks super, super crazy. Like, EJones, this side is lined up cool, and then you have to push up this side. That's not the case. I laid these hairs down over his hairline. Does that make sense? So when I line them up across here, I'm not pushing back his actual hairline because these hairs right here aren't growing. They're not sprouting out from in this region. These are the long hairs up here are hanging over the hairline. I suck at explaining shit, but hopefully y'all understand. Basically, these hairs right here that weren't long enough to go backwards, they're hanging over his hairline. So when I line them up across like this, I'm not going to be stressed about it because I'm not pushing his hairline back. I'm just knocking off this extra long hair. And then from this side, his left side was his higher side. I always start on the higher side. That way I can even it up with the lower side. So I'm gonna travel this line across like that, knock off these long hairs that are hanging over, and then from there you can just work on straightening it out, this, that, and the third. So it's not gonna be a major push up on the right side. It may look like that, but it's clearly not. I'm trying to explain that to you guys.